Waterbury, 1909. Darkness came on that town like a candle being snuffed. This was my wife's primary complaint about Spokane, after 2 years of me copping there. What Rebecca called the drastic dark of autumn. We'd come from Sioux City, a town she still called home, and where I'd walked an easier beat. I found Spokane in a land spec ad, but the piece I'd bought turned out to be cliff-face basalt and not arable. So we took 4 rooms in a brick apartment north of the river, and I got on with that roughneck police force. These were hard years, 08 and 09. Everything about Spokane hard, bringing to mind Rebecca's word, drastic. Steep hills, deep canyons, cold winters, hot summers, and those dark autumn evenings that made her so melancholy, when 5 felt like midnight. It was one of those nights Chief Sullivan pulled me aside. A burglar was prowling the big houses on Cannon Hill, and he needed good, sober cops on it. Nothing got up the mayor's ass like someone prying south side windows, stealing candlesticks from the Victorians on the hill. The mayor quick to remind Sullivan that he was acting police chief, and his act was to make the moneyed wives of those mining millionaires feel safe. Sullivan assigned me and 2 other cops to patrol the lower South Hill and catch this master burglar. It was vagrant season. "So all you'll miss is bum harvest," Chief Sullivan said. Good by me, as I preferred real police work to the endless roust and run of tramps anyway. Sullivan talked up this South Hill window crawler like he was the dastardly demon of hell himself. One of the silver barons had threatened to bring in a Pinkerton, and nothing ate at Sullivan like someone hiring private. There were 6 detective agencies in Spokane, 3 nationals, Pinkerton, Teal, and Allied, and 3 local thug shops used by the mining companies for union busting. The national detectives treated us city cops like horse clods, fine for running bums and whores, but about as helpful solving crime as a blind ranch dog. I thought this perception not entirely unfair, and had complained more than once about the laziness and graft of the old brute cops. I'd even considered putting in papers with the privates myself. If I stayed a cop, it would be for John Sullivan, for I admired the man. Sully was honest and affable, off-the-boat county carry, 6'4" and 220, 5 of those pounds brush mustache. He'd come on the force just after the Great Fire of '89, with brutes like Shannon and Clegg, and to hear them tell it, those 3 had single-handedly driven out the last of the Indians and tamed the whole frontier town. But unlike those others, Sullivan wasn't only brute. He was brave, savvy. In 01, 2 hold-up men set up shop on the north end of Howard Bridge, like fairy tale ogres robbing every wagon that crossed. When Sullivan came to arrest them, one man pulled a pistol and squeezed off a couple before Big John could knock the gun from his hand. As he was beating the robbers, Sully realized his boot was filling with blood. The ogre had shot him in the leg, below the groin. He dragged both outlaws to jail, then rode his horse to the hospital, where he promptly underwent surgery, met a nurse half his age, and married her. How could you not want to work for such a man? Sully could grow nostalgic for the rough old days, but he was also clear. The old Klondike town had grown into a proper city, and the time was up for a brute like Clegg, who saw his job as hassling tramps and whores into paying him for protection, and was not above running a girl himself if she came up short. "No, it's the last shift for them old boys," Sullivan said when I complained about Clegg taking booze from the evidence room. He made a point of promoting cops like Hodge and Roth and me, for our brains and our rectitude, I guess, but also because we didn't care if Bill Shannon could throw a keg through a window, or that Hob Clegg once rode a patrol horse through a burning tavern to rescue a favored sporting girl. That's why he put us 3 on the Cannon Hill burglar. But 3 men was a big commitment during vagrant season, with the East End full of floaters, and union men coming from all over to agitate the Stevens Street job agencies. I was not unsympathetic to their cause, for there was no denying the corruption of those employment agents, who charged the poorest men $1 for suspect job leads. But the IWW protested by filling the town with stinking foreign rabble, and this brought out the tavern girls, opium and pharaoh boys, mystics, seers, and pickpockets. A cloud of vice that swarmed the Tenderloin like mayflies over a putrid stream.